Okay, actually, we don't care how much do foreigners earn, don't we? I mean, how much they earn is actually not, to some of us, not our concern. Why do we come to this park today? Is to find out, how much do we actually earn, and is it enough to our upkeep? Okay, so these are relevant issues. This is sharp and straight and to the point. All right, it's basically how much we earn and how much can it keep up with our cost of living. That is why you come here today. You didn't come here to find out whether this foreigner earned 30K. Look, there are many of them overseas that earn 30K. There are many of them that earn $500-600, right? Even Africans that earn $1 a day. Yeah. So the acute question is, the point in which you come here to find out today is, how much are you earning relative to the previous years, right? And is it enough for your upkeep? Is it enough to build a future? Is it enough for the subsequent years in which you cast your vote for the government? And which government should you pick, right? So that is essentially why you're here, right? And how will these policies affect you? All right, so first of all, um, let me have a show of hands, okay? How many of you, right, earn below the median wage? Okay, let's say we have, okay, maybe not the median wage, maybe let's say below $3,000. Any show of hands? All right, okay, there's one brave chat. Any more? Below 3K? All right, some of you are retirees, I understand that, okay? Are reluctant to put out your hands, okay? But a recent report came out of the paper stating that, oh, it's a blessing that we have, we up the game and basically we're paying some workers above 1,000 for a day. Am I correct? Yeah, so is that really a blessing in disguise? How much do you actually need to earn to have a living in Singapore to just sustain? Okay, let's look at some numbers, okay? All right, nowadays you rent a room in Singapore, right? Rental rates. The cheapest you can get is probably about, I don't know, averaging about 600 to 800. Yeah. Okay. So if you have that in mind, right, that you need a basal rental, you need to pay your electricity, you need to pay your phone bills, right? So let's say you allocate about 100 for each. Okay. Let's talk about some financial planning. Okay. 600 to 800 plus another 100 for utilities conservatively, plus another 100 for let's say your phone bills, right? That's already 800. Then you need to eat. All right. So eating is a very important part of Singapore's life. Like you should know, right? You need to eat out every day if you're working. Don't tell me you stay at home and don't find a job, right? So you can do that. Of course, some of you are housewives and you can actually do that. But how about your spouse who's earning for you, right? So if you average out some numbers, if let's say every day you spend about $10 of food currently, okay, which is like $5 and probably a meal, a drink or two, right? So the cheapest you can get around the average rate is about, let's say you put aside $300-400 a month, yeah, and you haven't added transport, right? So altogether, right, if you have, let's say, 800, 900, 1,000, right, PUB, and then your phone bills, yeah, all right, and then you still need to eat, so at least it's 1,400, 1,500 a month, right? So for those of you who are earning less than that, how in the world can you keep up with it? And with the wage means, okay, they talk about wage suppression in Singapore, which is true. Okay, because if you're looking at 1,004 as a minimum maintenance, and then you still have other things like, don't you have relatives to take care of, maybe a father, a mother, or two, right? Some other bills to pay. So without not only, I mean, without a decent $2,000-3,000 a month, it's very difficult to get by. And $2,000-3,000 a month for, let's say, a normal workers production job, okay, you find that 10 years ago in Singapore. And has inflation gone up? Yes, it has gone up. So inflation is not a remote concept. It is staring at you in your face right now. It is staring at you when you're facing $8 chicken rice, right? How many of you have heard of $8 chicken rice? Do you think that's a myth? No, it is hard hitting. It is in your face. All right, $8 chicken rice is coming. $2 drinks are coming. Do you need to work? Yes. Can you stay at home and don't work? Of course you could, but someone need to go out and work as well, right? You know who's going to pay for the HDB and PUB, right? And quite a number of people had their electricity cut off, right? Being unable to pay. So when it reaches that stage, you know that, right? Basically, the goose is cooked. Okay, the goose is very Singaporean goose is cooked. Okay, so unless there's a concomitant rise of salaries, how the hell are you going to pay your bills in the next few years? So the question is, who can address these policies for you? So yes, number one is the current incumbent government. Of course, they can do that, right? But have they done that with the increasing GST and coming in two increments and perhaps more? the cost of living is on a progressive rise. So if you think it doesn't hurt your pocket today, you're free to walk off. But if you think it does, right, then you need to pump some action, join some party, or maybe donate some money to a party that can actually help you. So PV is not a socialist. It's not a socialist party. It is actually a very normal, structured party that actually tries to find out good policies for people, right? Like for example, slowing the GST. Do you think the GST will slow down because you wish it to slow down and nobody spoke up? No, it will not. It will not. It has only slowed down because there is resistance to the movement, right, of GST. But GST is, they say, unstoppable. Why is it unstoppable? So let me ask you, who do you give your votes for in the last election? Who did your relatives give the vote for in the last election? Did you bring one or two to the voting booth, or do you carry a string of them like what other countries have done? Yeah, to the polling booth. They can vote their own choices, but maybe you go as a group and find out. Yeah. So whatever way the pendulum swings, it's fine. But at least you have a decision in your hand to do the right thing in the right direction. That is the most important thing. Because I can tell you until the donkeys come home, until the cows come home, what does it matter to you? The only thing that matters to you is your stomach and whether you can actually afford your next generation to live on in Singapore. Okay, we have built our roots here for the last 20 years and decided a path of nation building, right? Even the PAP has said that, right? They started nation building. So if you started a nation building, why are you welcoming excess foreigners until such that the balance point has been disrupted, such that we cannot afford our own population? Where has the training of our own population failed? That is the question, you see. It is not too late to redress all this. It's actually still in time, right? But we are counting down to our last few chances, right? Because once the number of foreigners increase to past the balance point, which is not too far away, right? We have lost all effective control of our country, right? So basically, what is more important in the country? Is it economic growth in numbers or is it citizens? You tell me. Okay, what is important to you in the country? Come, is it you or is it the economic numbers that feed the rich businessmen or rich construction bosses? What do you say? Whose vote is it relevant to? Think about it. I don't provide answers. I don't try to blast on statistics that basically numbs the mind. I mean, my colleagues have already told you the facts, right? So it's up to you to judge. It's not up to you to judge, in fact. It is up to you and your neighbors to judge. If you haven't brought your neighbor to the polling booth, you have failed. You have failed yourself and you have failed Singapore. Why is 56.24% over the other side? Why? What have you not done as Singaporeans? What have you done as Singaporeans? If you can bring 5 or 10 people to the polling booth or talk to them, right? The opposition party is so few, so decimated and so disunited. So obviously, we need a normal, rational thinking party to come to the forefront to propose these ideas. Don't say we have no solutions. That's not true. Stopping or maybe slowing, not stopping, sorry, slowing immigration is a solution. Slowing GST is a solution. It buys you time. It buys you time for inflation to keep up with your salaries. It buys you time for a lot of things to adjust, right? And it also buys you proper solutions, right? If we can think about it, we can focus on economic growth, right? And reduce the GST instead because it is a proportionate tax. As the economy grows, I mean, you get more revenue from it as well, right? Why must we always look backward at a fixed model? Correct? Why can we not encourage growth for Singaporeans instead of thinking Singapore is a dead duck country? What do you think? Come, is you yourself more important, or is economic figures that does not reach you more important? Anyone? Okay, we are all still thinking, all right. But I'm telling you, if I'm a normal citizen. So basically, the numbers that does not reach me will not matter to me, right? What matters to me is that whether I can eat tomorrow. What matters to me is whether my fellow compatriots and Singaporeans have a roof over their head tomorrow. You, in a ascending property market, yes, very good. You look like you earn 1 million. Yeah, from 600,000 you put you earn 1 million. But the next one is 1.4. Most Singaporeans only got one property. What are you going to do? You have to pay for that 1.4, right? Yeah, unless you want to live in the streets, and then you have to pay the stamp duties. Yeah, you have to pay the taxes. Yeah. So who's actually the net benefiter from all this? Think about it. On paper, it looks impressive, but if the thing is spiraling out of control, how is it impressive to you? I pose questions. I don't give hardcore what, but there are solutions. I don't give hardcore solutions and say, look, you must do this, must do this. But there are solutions, and we are well aware. PV is one party that's well aware of it, right? The rest of them are a bit like, oh, some of them are socialist parties and dumb, and communists and all that. Of course, we don't ascribe to that, right? We are normal people, aren't we? So I'm speaking to the normal, common class people, yeah? Like you and me, we just worry about what to eat at the next meal. We just worry about whether our salaries can keep up. We just worry whether we have a roof over our heads. We just worry when we sell off the house, do we still have a roof over our heads? Can we still afford the next house? Minus the taxes, the renovations, the stuff. Alright? So ascending property market, it's time to wake up and take a look whether it's really beneficial to Singaporeans. Okay? That is my message to you, alright? Because you guys really need to think and wake up and grab your friends, right? You don't grab your friends and talk to them, nobody will ever know. Right? Because we know who the control of the mainstream media is at, right? We know where the funding is at. Okay, the opposition does not have all this. It relies on the common hardworking Singaporeans, right, to band together to think for themselves. Whether you vote the PAP or PV or some other party, it does not matter. But you have to make an active decision in assessing your role, right? And now we are not an anti-immigration party also, so don't get it wrong. We come from a country of immigrants, but the problem is we have built our roots 20 years ago, and basically we call it nation building. So we need to have some basis for nation building, right? We cannot say that we accept every Tom, Dick, and Harry here and pay them at artificially low rates. Look at Japan. Does it accept African workers from Africa and pay them African wages in Japan? Think about it. They don't, right? Why? Because it will cause total chaos in their society. Every society that progresses needs to be commensurate with their wage. So you are here now. Basically, the question in your mind is, can I survive with my current salary for the next 4 years? Can my family survive, or my descendants, or my future, descendants survive with the current salary that's going on and with the system that's going on? If you think it needs change, sure, join us or vote for us. If you think it doesn't need change, then sure, go ahead, join and vote the PAP. It doesn't matter one way or the other. Because after 4 years or 8 years, it wouldn't matter anymore. All right? That's all I got to say. Thank you. Bye.